Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Write With Me at IELTS Juice. Today, we have a task one for the academic module, a report. Here is the visual. And it says, the diagram below shows the manufacturing process for making sugar from sugarcane. As a grandson of a sugar beet farmer, I can totally relate to this task, and I'm very happy. This is something I'm very excited about. Here we go. This is one visual only, and I understand for many candidates these images are scary, because there are no trends. Line charts, pie charts, bar charts, they show a trend. You can kind of see, even tables, you can see ups and downs, increases, decreases. You can see how things peaked and maybe bottomed out. Many candidates start to learn the vocabulary, they learn sentences and say how this trend changes from one side to the other side, from one pattern to the other pattern. But when it comes to visuals, it becomes absolutely interesting to me, but for many is scary because they don't know what to do with these pictures. And there are very little words given. And another scary part, to just make it even scarier, there are some jargon inside. That means they use some technical terms in these visuals. And those technical terms are related to the industry. For example, in this case, there are some words that are related to the sugar industry. Enough talking about this. Let's go step by step. Before we get into this, I want you to decide on the tense, the grammatical tense that we're going to use. This visual has no time frame. It doesn't say 1990 something. It doesn't say last century. It doesn't say there is prediction for the following decade. We don't have any information about time. And when we have no information about time, we use yes, present simple. Present simple is going to be our dominant grammatical tense. So we're going to say goodbye to all the other grammatical tenses. Thank you, future, present perfect, and past simple. Thank you for your service. Let's move on. Then I want to look at the visual. I see some numbers. There's 1, then 2, and then 3. And then we have 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, kind of like, in a semicircle. And maybe it's for beauty purposes, maybe it's not. I'm going to take advantage of that anyway. And I will tell you how. I study the visual. I can see that in the first picture, you just have the growing part, and then there are 2 images. One has a human harvesting sugarcane, and the other is done through a mechanized system by a machine. But both, again, come to the third stage, which is, what is that? Oh, crushing sugarcane. So from that point on, you have one machine, and then you have another machine, which is a filter, and then you have another machine, which is a heater, or what does it say? Evaporator, sorry. And then you have a centrifuge, and finally you get to a large silo, something that just let sugar dry and get cooled or get cooled down. All right, now after studying this, I see numbers, I see names of machines, and I see some names of stages. All right, we are ready to start the first sentence. Remember that we are using present simple. And we need to say the visual. What is the visual? The visual is a diagram. So it's not a line chart, it's not a pie chart. It's nothing. You can address it as the visual given or the diagram given. Then when we focus, there is no focus of time. So we don't have any focus. We don't have any focus of location. It's not limited to a certain country. It's not limited to any geographical location. So there is no focus. I talked about the type. I just want to know what it shows, and it shows very briefly how sugar is derived from sugarcane in this process. So that's what this diagram shows. It doesn't matter if your sentence is quite short. That is totally fine. The next sentence is the interesting one. Many candidates again struggle here. Now, when I say I want to write an overview, and you know me, I usually come up with 2 overviews. But let's go step by step. I want to talk about something. Now you look at it and you say, hey, Kasra, where is the overview? What can I say? All right, interesting point. How many steps are there? Exactly. There are 7 steps. You can say there are 7 steps in this process. That's one way to say that. How about the number of mechanical items or machines involved? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can say at least 6. I see 6 different man-made objects. Maybe you can remove the last one. The last one is basically a silo, but again, silo can be something man-made. And there are you can instead of 7, you can say there are 6 machines involved in manufacturing sugarcane. That could be your second overview, and it goes into your final paragraph. Another interesting fact is you can say, all right, there are 2 major processes. You can say, yeah, there is one before it is into the crushing and into the factory, and you can say 1 step is before that. But this is not very strong, so I don't suggest that you go ahead and do that right now. At this point, I will tell you when to go back to this later. So at this point, you can say there are 7 steps, or you can say at least there are 6 different machines involved in manufacturing this. All right, we will continue. This is the body paragraph. How many body paragraphs do we need? Well, you can do everything in 1 body paragraph, and that would be it. Done. That's fine. 1 body paragraph, and you can explain everything. You start by the first step all the way to the 7th step. So what we do, we talk about all the steps. And I don't mind if you want to say there are 7 steps. It's a 7-step process, or in this 7-step process, the first step is to grow sugarcane, and you need to support with all the details that you have. So here we are. Write as many details as you want. So this is the part that you actually expand. So that's why this becomes a very large paragraph. Talk about the details here, and you can say, okay, first I'm going to focus on the growing part, and then this is the harvesting part, and the third is all the third elements, starting from the crushing machine that goes to that limestone filter, and then you have a evaporator, and then you have centrifuge, and then this is the last step, which is basically a silo that helps sugar to get dried and cooled. So I would divide it into 3 formats. So first it would be growing, second would be to harvest it in different styles, and the third one would be all the other machines combined. You might say, okay, Kasra, that's smart, but I would like to manage my paragraphs better. So why don't I focus on this, on all the machines after this, and I devote 1 paragraph once the sugarcane product reaches factory. I would say fine. In this case, you have 2 paragraphs. One is going to be, it's going to be balanced. Like this is going to be stages 1 and 2. This is the first and this is the second stage. And from this stage on, it's all the other stages. How many stages are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stages will be here. So you're going to talk about 2 stages over here and 5 stages in this element, in this paragraph. And you're going to end up by saying, yeah, there are at least 6 machines used. Or you can say, again, I would remove the last machine, which is a silo. It's not really a machine. It's just a container. But you can say 6 or 5. Nobody is going to penalize you. It's your interpretation of the visual. So it doesn't matter. But it gives you an idea how to organize your writing and how to understand and get information from whatever it is in the visual. I can see there's a crusher, there's a filter, there's an evaporator. I can see a tractor is involved, a harvester is involved, a centrifuge is involved, a silo is involved. You see, I count 7. You could count 6. Another person might count 5. Never mind. That would still help you with this task. So done. That's it. We have our report. Either with 1 paragraph with all the details inside, or with 2 paragraphs focusing before the factory and after the factory. You have the answer here. If you wish to see a sample that we did, scored, and improved, you know where to click. If you wish to see other videos like this with a little apple here that we assess and plan how to write a letter, a report, or an essay, click over here. And remember, this little apple tells you to eat healthy.